Julie's on her way to the hamlet of Ballinamorog, where the Clark family lived.
Hello, Owen.
Hello, Julie.
Today, Owen O'Malley owns the land once farmed by Anthony Clark.
So, Owen, is this where my great-grandfather's house was, on this spot where yours is?
This is not it, but I'll tell you, Julie, I'll bring you to it now. It's just down the road a couple of 100 yards. It starts there. You see the green field here beside us?
This is where their land starts, here?
Yes, I'll just show you now as we pass it by. I've often heard stories of Anthony Clark and
Have you?
a bull attacking him one time. And, you know.
Oh, really? Legendary.
Yes, yes.
Is the house still there?
Part of the house is here, where the house was.
Oh, that's all that's left of it.
Yep.
So can we go in?
We can, yeah.
Even though it's a ruin.
There's one particular room still left in it. It's just where the cattle go into now. So
no.
Don't expect anything posh.
No, there's no sofa for me to sit on.
There's definitely no sofa.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
This is where the old windows were. You can see them there where they're built up.
Yeah,
This was their fireplace here.
yeah. Let me just have a feel of the walls. They were here. Do you think this is the full extent of the house?
No, no.
Oh, it goes further?
It goes further
Oh.
down. The house runs down there.
According to the census, there were 4 grown-up children and the parents and the younger ones who weren't little, all living here.
Yes.
Because it's extraordinary that this is where my grandmother was born. What a lovely house. I know there's not much left, but...
There's not much left, but at least there's something left.
Yes. So, Owen, how many acres do you think they had at that time?
The Clarks had roughly about 43, 45 acres.
So they kept it well?
Yeah, oh, very well. Front of the house was out onto the garden.
Yeah,
And
looking
lovely
out.
Flowers and everything.
They were clearly comfortably off. And to have a house of the size and also terribly well kept, with nice gardens and all of that. So I'd like to know just where all that came from. Did he inherit it? How did he come by it? That's what I want to know.
Genealogist Nicola Morris has been researching the Clark family.
Hi.
Hello, it's lovely to meet you.
Hi, Nicola. Lovely to meet you too. Apparently, my great-grandfather, Anthony Clark, had 40 acres, and the house looks pretty good to me, the whole setup.
Yes.
And I just wondered, you know, how comfortably off was he, do you think, to have this?
I have some documents here that will tell us a little bit more about the situation of the Clark family and their landholding. So the record here was made in 1880.
Yeah.
So it was 2 years after your grandmother Bridget was born.
Yes, she was 2. Right. Anthony Clark.
And then this is the acreage here.
43 acres. Right. So he owned quite a lot.
Yeah. But thing is, they didn't own the property. The
So they
person
didn't
above,
own it?
They didn't own it, no. Anthony Clark would have been a tenant.
Oh.
They were tenants, what we call tenants at will. So they didn't have a lease. That meant that if the landlord decided, or if they fell into arrears with their rent, there was a very real possibility that they could have been evicted.
Yeah.
And this is the landlord, Sir Roger Palmer.
Palmer.
Palmer was English and Protestant. So the Palmers came into possession of their land in Ireland in the 17th century.
The Palmer family first became landowners in Ireland in the 1680s. At the time, the English crown was seizing land from Irish Catholics and giving it to loyal English Protestant families, like the Palmers. In Anthony's day, 200 years later, the whole of Ireland was under British rule. His landlord, Sir Roger Palmer, was one of the most powerful in Ireland, with over 80,000 acres in County Mayo alone.
So I have a picture of Roger Palmer, who would have been receiving the rents from this property. And this is Palmer's house in Dublin.
Oh, okay. Honestly.
So this would have been, I suppose, built on the income generated from his estate.
Yes.
It illustrates the comparison.
Yeah.
The owners of the land were that privileged, wealthy minority.
Living off the backs of these poor people.
Palmer could have decided at any point, whether for arrears of rent or if he wanted to clear the land holdings, that he could have had any of the tenants on his land holding evicted.
So no security.
No security.
Oh, I can't imagine.
That fear.
Yeah.
They worked this land, they lived on this land.
And worked hard. It wasn't as if they were shirkers exactly, was it?
No, but they could have lost everything at a moment.
Yeah. We've decided we want the land, so we want them off. Get those, get the Clarks off there. We'll have that little bit of land. Oh, yes, yeah.
And also the thing is, the quality of the land that they were living on wasn't very good quality land. And so I think it would have been a struggle for them.
The boggy land in County Mayo was particularly difficult to farm. Little would grow apart from potatoes. For Anthony, who had 4 young children to support, life was about to get harder still.
What I have is an account on the state of the West in the newspaper. So it was written in 1879.
Having recently made a tour in the west of Ireland, and should the coming winter be as severe as the last, the suffering will be intense. Ruined crops and blighted potatoes are almost universal, and hunger stares the people in the face. The exceptional severity of the present year has reduced many persons to the verge of starvation. Wow, I can't imagine the harshness of that existence.
So this comes after several years where the crops had failed in Mayo, and it left families in absolutely dire situation. There are accounts where you see families who are found in small cottages, barely clothed and starving.
Oh my God. What happened to Anthony, do you know?
The tenants on this estate, through the parish priest, made an appeal to Palmer, published in the newspaper.
To Major General Sir Roger Palmer, the petition of the tenantry of the parish of Islanady, petitioners wish to inform your honour that they feel they will not be able to pay the rents now due in consequence of the depressed state of the country from constant rain, failure of crops. In addition, we wish to inform your honour that almost every tenant on your estate, in order to support their families, have got themselves in debt. For the purpose of seeking to keep their children from almost starving or taking shelter in the workhouse, petitioners humbly hope that your honour will direct your worthy agent to give a fair reduction in the half-year's rent now due. Oh. It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
They're pleading.
Oh, gosh.
It's likely that Anthony Clark would have been one of the petitioners to something like this. This would have been a very, very dark time for the Clark family.
Yeah. Such a sad little letter. It's a completely different story to the one I set out with, in a way. Landholder didn't mean landowner. Just the thought of having 4 small children, and also the land not being brilliant land. So they would have had to work so hard, not knowing whether the next day you'd be turned off your land.